I think we are 10 days away, probably 10 days away from having finality with the Pac-12.
This is a code 10 abort.
Because I continue to hear that these administrators in the Pac-12 want this done before summer break.
Well, how could you blame them, right? I mean, you never want to come back to the office with doomsday waiting for you.
But I also think part of that rationale is they know what the deal is. They know what the deal is.
Yeah.
And when you know what the deal is and you understand that there's not a $31.7 million deal out there, there's not a $25 million deal out there.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Because I think the other thing is that if you're a school like Colorado, I think you have to move sooner than later.
Right.
You already have all of Prime's, momentum, excitement. You have all this energy around Deion Sanders.
Yes.
If you're going to sit and wait, I think that's going to hurt you. I think, and not to be redundant, I think you need this deal done before kickoff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you are the Pac-12, the likely timeline is, hey, I think in June, this TV deal that's not going to be a TV deal gets announced. And I think before July 1st, certainly, I would guess before July 1st, you're going to start hearing schools moving.
Yeah.
If what I think is going to happen happens, I think that's the likely timeline.
Yeah.
Because once the TV deal comes out, and once we know, because you're going to know right away, hey, do they have a grant of rights? And I think overwhelmingly the answer is going to be no. You're not going to get 10 schools to sign on to a deal that's less than $25 million.
This case is empty.
So how much is a TV deal? How many schools signed on to it? That's going to tell you right there when announcements are going to happen.
Yep.
Because immediately, and I would guess in the next 10 days, you're going to start hearing leaks about this deal. I would guess in the next 10 days that guys like Andrew Marchand are going to start having numbers and structural components of what a deal and who a deal could be with and how.
Yeah.
And then I think you're going to start seeing, hey, here's where the friction is. Here's where the frustration is. Here's where our finality, and we start running downhill with how all this works out. Because, again, I think the most damning quote from our sources in the TV industry is the Pac-12 knows the end is near on this TV situation. They know. We've reported for weeks, none of these guys are moving. Nobody's like, all right, let me give you $100 million more than we offered.
Well, and he'd be surprised if there was inside the conference, if there was some sort of, deadline for George, right? Like, hey, with the summer, again, with the break coming up, for these administrators, hey, bring us what you have on X date, and then we will make a decision.
But I also think what's happening from what I've heard inside the Pac-12 is that there's some administrators who are like, dude, this is not improving. Because it's not like they don't know. It's not like they're not hearing, or they're getting weekly updates on any progress, no progress. Like, they have regular communication. It's not like you've got 10 administrators who have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's not as though they don't know. It's not as though there are 10 administrators in the conference that are sitting in the dark, because they're not.
Well, and I mean, again, I know I keep referencing Kirk Schultz, right, up at Washington State, but, what he said kind of backs that up, right? Like, he's out here talking about how they'd have had a deal already if the optics weren't bad and, this and that. And it's like, dude, they're getting updates and they're getting information. It's just coming down to, hey, who holds the water in the conference? And we know who that is. I mean, that's Washington and Oregon. I wish it was more Utah, but it's not. And to me, I just think at some point you have to bring an end to these situations. At some point, you're going to go right or you're going to go left.
Well, you're ruining relationships in the conference.
Yeah.
Because, again, I'll just point to Utah President Taylor Randall, who we've heard repeatedly has been an ambassador, a peace broker, a guy that is, hey, let's let George and his team do their work. The problem is now, if you're Taylor Randall and that's your message, right? The problem is now there's no evolution of that message.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting help in the fact that, oh, hey, a TV deal's getting better, or we're progressing towards a TV deal. Because you're not, because the updates have been stale. They haven't improved. Hey, where are we at with ESPN? Well, we are at XYZ. Hey.
Excellent strategy, sir.
So are we close on this NBC Universal thing? Yeah, actually, you know what? They've backed away because of the NFL deal. Like you can only, and I think that's why you're starting to hear, hey, the end is near.
Yeah.
They know what the deal is. These guys are not stupid. They're academics who are wildly intelligent. They know what the deal is already. It's a matter of, can George go out and improve it? And I think they know that they cannot. I think they know he cannot.
Yeah.
Stephen Smith, who apparently is a baller, gives us $10 more to say, also, San Diego State issue is a big deal. If the TV deal is not done before June 31st, the Pac-12 waited too long to get a deal and took the deal they had last fall for $25 million. Well, with San Diego State, and I don't know why people are not correcting it, but let's give you the truth about San Diego State, and we've already told you guys this repeatedly on the show. San Diego State and sources at the Mountain West have told us directly, it is not $51 million on July 1st. It's 34. San Diego State has to give notice to the Mountain West that they are leaving the conference, that they are pulling out of the conference.
Hey, guys.
To do that, they also have to cut a check for $17 million. If they do that on June 30th or before, it's $17 million. If they wake up on July 1st and do that, it's $34 million. It is not triple, according to our sources. It's not triple. It's 17 on June 30th, 34 on July 1st.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Our sources have also told us San Diego State has not given notice that they are leaving the conference, either orally or in writing. They have not in any way, shape, or form let on that they are working on that they are considering that, other than J.D. Wicker telling Seth Davis at The Athletic, we're going somewhere. It's either the Pac-12 or the Big 12, which I think was a horrendous mistake PR-wise.
Schemers trying to control their little world.
Because, by the way, if you're Brett Yormark, are you trying to be somebody's ice cube, or are you trying to be the drink?
Yeah.
Because if San Diego State says, well, we'd like to go to the Pac-12, but we'll settle for the Big 12, I'm nobody's ice cubes, bro. I'm the entire drink. And I think if you're Brett Yormark, that's pretty much where you come down on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it is this is why. That was a mistake by J.D. Wicker at San Diego State.
Yep.
Now, candidly, they won't come on the show. We asked them to. I have not gotten an email back about whether or not they would allow me to sit and talk with J.D. Wicker this weekend. He is in town with San Diego State to take on the ladies softball team in the Super Regional that the Utah Utes are hosting. Haven't answered by email, so we'll see. Truck Stop Gumby says the entire drink, Monty 2023. Well, it's funny you bring that up, Truck Stop Gumby, because we just happen to have an entire drink of bucked up buckshot right here, baby. Before I open it, shake it up. How about that? Buckshot, watermelon, you guys. This stuff's amazing. So I will tell you, today I had one of these at 5:45 in the morning. Got out of bed. You guys know I've been working hard on my golf game. This made a difference today. I went over to my local golf driving range. It was hot. It was humid. I took one of these before I got out of the car. Had a great range session. And the thing that it does, it doesn't give you like you're not like jazzed up on caffeine, right? But it gives you mental clarity. It gives you, and the word I keep using, and I don't know how you describe it, Jake, but it's a mental lift.
Yeah, you just feel clear.
Yeah.
You just feel clear, man. It's real simple. I mean, you drink it, and 5 minutes, 7 minutes later, you feel real clear. And I will say, if you take it, like you just said, real early in the morning, the effects are much more noticeable because you're still groggy. But like right now, I'll take it. It's 3:37 Mountain Time right now. By probably 3:45 at the latest, I'll feel nice and peppy and warmed up and clear. Like it works. And
it'll carry you through the rest of your day. That's the thing. Like with so many people going back to the office, or if you're working at home, kids are around, dogs are barking, you need mental focus, jam a buckshot, dude. Super easy. Don't take my word for it. Get to the description below. Bucked Up wants to give you 6 free buckshots. All you have to do, click the link below. They'll send them right to your front door for free. And trust me when I say, don't do it if you don't want something amazing, because these buckshots actually work.
Yeah.
And I will not do a day without them now, because I just feel better. I have my fastball all the time. Like I love what they do. And by the way, the Buck bars from Bucked Up, the brand new Buck bars, are amazing. And they also want to send you a sampler pack of Buck Bars straight to your front door. It's all in the description below. Hook it up, buckedup.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Less of me, more than you. Or less of me and more. See, I want your I want your comments as soon as you hit the like button. You know, we try to get 200 likes on the show. Every show we're at 82, and we've had 1,500 people watch the show, so hook it up. Moth Prof, how are you? PAC, quote, we owe people a lot of money. We have no TV deal. Anybody want to join our club in the burning treehouse? We got good grades.
You know.
And it's all going to come around now. It is all going to come around now.
Yeah.
You know.
No doubt.
It is what it is. Spangler, how the heck are you, buddy? The big ain't no Rolling Stones. Okay. I mean, you know. Let's see. Let's go back up to the top, because I know a lot of people always say, well, I comment first and you never read it. Okay. Well, let me. We have over 1,000 comments already, so I need to go all the way back to the top. And let's see. Let's see. Christopher Shannon. That merger should have happened long ago. They'd be looking at $45 million per team now, 8 Big 12 teams plus 8 Pac-10 teams. But again, not to keep telling you we told you so, but as we reported exclusively on the show, ESPN and Fox strongly advised the Pac-12 and the Big 12 to merge last year. And the Pac-12 said, we're not interested.
Nope.
And not coincidentally, all of a sudden the Big 12 had a new TV deal. And a shocking new TV deal that, remember, all the Pac-12 pundits said, oh, terrible deal. You guys left a bunch of money on the table. And they still don't have a deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think from a lot of information that I've heard, I think ESPN and Fox went to the Big 12 and said, hey, why don't you come to market early? Come on out. Nice to meet you, Brett. Why don't you come and do a deal with us early, right now?
Get your ass out here.
Because remember what Brett Yormark did when he got this job. He went and made relationships immediately. Toured campuses, talked to presidents, talked to athletic directors, met with football teams. Like, the guy was everywhere. Built a bunch of relationships, boom, just like that. Had a bunch of people behind him in line, got the job done. And I think in no small part, and again, I want to make this clear because I don't want to be misquoted. I don't believe that ESPN has worked to damage the Pac-12. But I strongly believe that ESPN has done nothing to help the Pac-12. Once the Pac-12 said, no, we're not interested in merging with the Big 12, I think essentially ESPN was like, all right, cool, dude. Good luck. Because we're out.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think that's exactly what happened. Because ESPN understood the value in that conference was USC. To a much lesser extent, obviously brands like Oregon, Washington, and Utah, really important to the health and well-being of the Pac-12. Nobody's more important than USC.
Yep. And
I think ESPN was fully aware of that. And I think that's exactly what happened. Giggity, how the heck are you, my guy? Better Call Saul, what's up? Kurt Meyer says, howdy, my people. Hello, my people. Patrick Bourne says, Trammell didn't have good news for the PAC either. No, there is some belief. So Barry Trammell at the Oklahoman is reporting that he's the one that said Colorado may be ready to jump to the Big 12 soon. Which, what are you even saying?
Yeah.
May be ready to jump to the Big 12 soon.
Yeah, and I might be able to bench 500 pounds soon.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to take a... Never mind. Anyway,
How is that even possible?
You know, the point is, you guys get my point.
Yeah.
Hello, Charles Arnett, a new member of the show.
Let's go!
Everybody welcome Charles. Let's see. Who else was in early today? Saul Goodman says, Gumby, breaker of breaking news. Because Truck Stop Gumby said, breaking news. News has broken. More on this breaking news when news breaks. I mean, couldn't have said it better. Raider Mark, how the heck are you? Kyle J says, ain't ducking no smoke.
Man, why we got to talk about Ja already?
Yeah, we got to talk about that Ja Morant situation.
Bro, what are we doing?
Dude,
What are we doing?
Ain't ducking no smoke.
Raider Mark says, I have 4 more weeks of medical leave. What happens first? I go back to work or the Pac-12 signs a deal or implodes? Yes.
Can't back down.
Yes, you're going back to work. Barry Trammell from the Oklahoma reported today that Colorado will be joining the Big 12 soon.
Right.
No, what he said was maybe ready to join the Big 12 soon.
Possibly and potentially and maybe and stuff.
As Raider Mark points out, soon, imminent, close to, near, maybe, kind of, probably not, but they will likely happen.
Lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Captain Jack 97. Monty shoots par on 18 consecutive holes before the Pac-12 signs a TV deal. Oh my God, that ain't going to happen.
Got a golf update for you today.
Yeah, we'll talk a little. My golf shot sucks. My golf swing is terrible.
Golf.
Golf. Not good. Cougar Tracks. I got number 8 on the like button. My guy, let's go.
Oh, boy.
Let's go. Raider Mark, did I read something where someone reported the PAC asked the Big Ten to lay off poaching more schools? Multiple times. Multiple times. They have said that. Multiple times. But, hey, it is what it is. Larry Pilgrim. Sorry, guys, but Apple with their money would be 100 times better than the CW network. I live in Florida. The CW network is not running a streaming package here. Well, I think that the issue with, and how do I say this gently? Nexstar Media is a behemoth of a company. They own the CW. Nexstar Media, the issue is they do not own all the stations that carry CW programming.
Yeah.
And if you look at what happened with Live Golf, you already know Live Golf got hosed a couple of weeks ago in Tulsa because mainly the CW stations that actually carry Live Golf, and it's not nearly all of them.
Yeah.
Most of them are like, okay, well, we'll carry 90 minutes of Live Golf, but Charles in charge, those replays have to air. You know, Full House is a hell of a show. I understand Bubba Watson's playing well, but
Nice visor, Slick.
You know, TJ Hooker is on patrol. Like, so they want to go to, and this is, I am not exaggerating, they want to go to syndicated 90s TV reruns.
That's every day.
Instead of showing Live Golf tournaments. And then you had these major market CBS stations that pulled out of their CW agreements. And many people believe, and I am one of them, that it was because of the PGA Tour. Because those major CBS-owned stations, what are they? Well, they're partners with the PGA Tour, who is adversaries with Live Golf, who airs their tournaments sort of, kind of, sometimes on the CW.
Yeah.
So they lose major markets like San Francisco. That's a huge blow if you're the Pac-12, because now you don't have an affiliate in San Francisco, and you got to try to find a new one.
Yeah.
It's an uphill climb.
Yeah.
It is an uphill climb. That's all I'm saying. You know, MLS is not college football and not comparable.
Agreed.
But what is it? MLS is a major sport that was pitched to Apple TV as we have a very, very loyal fan base of supporters who will come to your Apple TV. Now, granted, they will wear scarves with soccer club names on them, but they will subscribe.
Wow, did you guys see that T-Mobile's numbers went way up? Oh.
And there's a lot of people that are saying MLS is not happy with their reach and Apple TV is not happy with their subscribership because it has not seen the jump that they wanted to.
Yeah.
So, okay, how is that at all comparable to college football? So let's say that you have the Pac-12 and Apple TV.
Yeah.
First of all, do you think Apple TV is paying $30 million? You think they're paying $310 million a year?
Look here, man.
For Pac-12 football? Let's pretend they do. Do you believe that Washington and Oregon will stay in the Pac-12 for Apple TV? Because I'm telling you, point blank, they will not.
Why would they?
President Kase has been, I think, the most powerful figure in the Pac-12 as a president.
Yeah.
She is the president of Washington. She has been the top dog in this conference for several years. She carries the biggest pail of water. And she has straight up said that if there are tier 1 rights and they are on stream, I am not signing a grant of rights, according to our sources.
Yeah.
And she's joined by quite a few of her fellow presidents in the Pac-12 who have said, if we're all on streaming, I'm not signing a grant of rights. I think they're pretty unanimous in their belief that you can't have your entire package on stream. So okay, well, let's throw that part out too.
Yeah.
Let's just throw that part out. So let's pretend that you do get Oregon and Washington and the other 8 Pac-12 members. How does Apple make? And if you do $300 million, let's just call it $1 billion a year. How does Apple make $1 billion a year? And that's only 3-1. Because most major corporations want 10-1 in return.
Mm-hmm.
When they spend money, they want 10-1. So go ahead and explain to me, how is Apple going to make 10-1 on their investment in Pac-12 sports? Because I don't see that happening.
Yeah, well, and that's a consequence of not winning, right? I mean, if you were more relevant and you were winning, you'd have more viewership, but you're not, so you're not. Like, it just is what it is.
I think it's a huge problem. I think it is a huge problem, and I think it's one of those things where I think Apple has been an awkward fit from the jump because I don't think they're going to pay you $300 million a year. I don't think that 7 out of 10 schools off the top of my head would agree to full streaming.
Yeah.
Which, again, if you were at Amazon, I would tell you go all in with your streaming. All in. Everybody, push your chips into the streaming pot and let's go play poker.
Right.
But it's Apple, and I don't believe that Apple TV has the reach that Amazon or linear TV does.
Yeah.
That's how it's comparable, in my opinion. Let's see. John Teal gives us $5 to say, if I were San Diego State, I'd crawl on my belly at Brett's feet and say, take me any kind of way you like, but please take me now.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. You know. Okay. Yeah, I don't
know what we're supposed to say to that, man. Yeah, I mean, see, you got to give us somewhere to go with it. You know, I mean, you're talking about crawling on your hands and knees and saying things like "take me now." That's not going to work, sir.
I'm so bricked up.
Oh my God, just like that. Oh.
Mike V says, seriously, these PAC schools know the money that is being offered and it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They know the money that's going to be offered and it's not good. And I would agree with that 100%. Conundrum says no grant of rights equals sayonara. I would agree with that 100%. Al Bundy says Apple is a $3 trillion company. Correct.
And your point is what?
They didn't become a $3 trillion company by throwing money away. Yeah, what's your point? Brett Yormark's burner phone. CW will break away from Oregon State versus Utah for BYU versus Texas. You know that's true.
Okay, see, here's the deal. If the name of your account is going to be Brett Yormark's burner phone, I need to be seeing comments about, partying at Rucker Park, not comments about BYU in Texas. Like,
cold-blooded.
Like, be better. Be better.
Starry says no.
Starry.
Okay. I mean, these two-word answers, you know. Spangler says MLS is a quote-unquote major sport. Is debatable. But is it though?
Not. It's not.
It's not a major sport.
No, it's not debatable. It is a major sport. It's just not.
NHL or MLS?
NHL. It's not a core 4 sport. It's not core 4, but it is a major sport. Don't get it confused.
Baseball. Major core. Basketball.
Yeah.
Football.
Yeah.
And hockey.
Yeah. Those are the 4.
I don't think MLS is on that level.
But again, that doesn't mean they're not a major sport. They have a following. Just because, listen to me, if Apple TV was more accessible, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
The issue is that it's not accessible. It's not easily accessible. You either have to have a smart TV or you have to have the desire to have it on your phone. And I know that applies to a lot of different things. But the other issue with Apple TV is it's not Amazon and it's not YouTube.
Correct.
Which Amazon and YouTube are widely distributed. Everybody and their mom has Amazon and YouTube. It really isn't even a choice. It's just what we do.
I think the free use of Apple TV is a huge problem. I think it set a terrible precedent because I think that's now the expectation. And I think it's a huge, huge problem. And I'm a soccer fan. I am not paying for Apple TV to get MLS. I'm not. I already pay for YouTube TV. I already pay for Netflix. I already pay for DirecTV. I'm not adding Apple TV for MLS. And now, if the Pac-12 went there, would I be more willing? Sure, I would be more willing. But come on. I think this is a problem.
It is a big risk for both sides.
It's a problem. I totally agree. Let's see. Tom Dean says the deal that the Pac-12 reportedly left on the table and the Big 12 picked up, were USC and UCLA still in the PAC at that point? If so, they were not. Any deal now will be worth far less than the Big 12s. And I think, I think everybody knew at the time that the Pac-12 was going to go into, hey, this exclusive negotiating window. Nobody knew at the time that the Big 12 was coming to market early. Mm-hmm. It was a shocking development. So it's interesting. Larry Pilgrim, those 4 aren't what's left on the board. That's not already in the Big 10 or the SEC. What do you mean? I'm confused. Sorry, I'll get better. You just wait, Brett Yormark's burner phone says.
See?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Bart Buttkiss says, stop wasting time broadcasting the same nonsensical and redundant nonsense every effing day. Well, thanks for being here every day, though.
Yeah.
G. Lee, the Big 12 is not in a hurry either. Time will tell. But there's no reason to be in a hurry.
Well, that's the thing with the Big 12, right? They've already got their deal. They're already compounding on that deal, if you will, with these special events and opportunities.
But I go back to this pro rata agreement with ESPN.
Man, everyone was so obsessed on this too.
Do you guys think that was an accident at the time?
No.
It was not an accident at the time. Why did ESPN agree to that pro rata? Do you think it's because they already knew the Pac-12 wasn't getting a deal with them?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because they already knew that there was likely not a significant deal for the Pac-12 to get, so they anticipated teams bailing to get to the Big 12? Nobody talks about it. We're the only one that's talked about it. We told you then, we've told you since then, and I'll tell you now. ESPN didn't do anything to damage the Pac-12, but they did nothing to help the Pac-12.
Yeah, and they did everything to help themselves.
They secured their business model by allowing the Pac-12's biggest competitor, the Big 12, to add teams at fair market value, according to the contract, if the Pac-12 fell apart.
Facts.
Yeah. We're not putting the dagger in your back, right? We're just setting
We're handing it to your competitor who's going to put it in your back, though.
We're just feeding the system. That's
we're not going to stab you in the back, but we're going to hand our knife to your biggest competitor who's going to stab you in the back with our knife. Is this the dagger? That's essentially what happened there. If you think about it.
And I think it's brilliant. I think it's business. I think it's if you're ESPN, and because the thing is, and I feel like no one talks about this either, ESPN has to control the media narrative too. Again, this whole optics situation with Pat McAfee and everything. Look, ESPN has to forecast forward on that. Do you really think that ESPN wasn't aware that they were probably going to be laying people off this time of year back then? They knew that was coming. They knew. So don't be surprised, man.
Nobody will know. They won't know. They won't find. Yeah, they will. You guys, there are no secrets in this business.
Yeah.
I just don't know how people think that there are secrets, especially when everybody knows the marinara meatball is amazing.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.